Hey, everybody. How you all doing? Happy Monday. It is a motivating Monday, and I am just so excited that you all are joining Real Love Ministries live with Lady Des on tonight. And I am extremely excited about our guest that we have on tonight. Those of you who know me as Lady Des of AM 1490 WNBM, and I have several platforms, and I am just so excited to have Chris Klug here with us, a contributing writer of the new Gospel Quartet Heritage Magazine, as well as Bob Marovich. He is also a contributing writer. And listen, y'all, she is no stranger to South Florida. Okay, this way. She is no stranger to South Florida. She is a prominent figure in our area. She is a promoter, publisher, editor. She does so much. She is a booking manager. She's going to tell you all about everything that she does. So I am so happy to have Sunsurray Wynn on here on tonight on our platform. So we welcome all of you to the platform on tonight. How are you all doing?
Great. Doing good.
Awesome. Yes. And we have another guest that will also be joining us on tonight. He has also played a big role in the magazine. I'm adding him right now to the stage. Mr. Mario Porter is joining. Hey, Mario.
Hello, everyone. How you guys doing?
Awesome. Thank you so much. So listen, everybody, we want you all to share this live. We want you to call Mom and them and everybody and tell them to tune in to Real Love Ministries Live with Lady Des. We're streaming right now via Facebook Live, also on my ministry page at Real Love Ministries, as well as YouTube. So you can view this at any one of those platforms. So let's jump in and get started and talk about the Gospel Quartet Heritage Magazine. So Sunsurray, you are the spearhead, the CEO, the publisher of this great magazine. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm born and raised right here in Miami, Florida, the Sunshine State, the best state in the world. I'm a gospel promoter. I've been promoting for over 20 plus, almost 30 years. I've been doing gospel promotions, booking, management. So I'm not new to this. I'm not a stranger to it. This just has been an inspiration for me. I've been trying to do this magazine since 2009, or really 2008, right before my dad Tommy died. So I was trying to do this magazine then, but after that I just stopped. And everything been just delaying, but I thank God for the delay. It just wasn't my time. So finally he brought it into rotation. So I'm just grateful to got it started last year. And I'm grateful to do this issue that just came out featuring Tyrone Porter, who has been I always call him my boss man. That was my inspiration. I talk to him all the time. And he gave me the opportunity to interview him. So I don't know if this was his last interview with me, but I just had to post it in there because I made him a promise that I was going to have him at the cover of my magazine. So I kept that promise. Wow. Even though he's not here to see it physically, but I'm sure he's here in spirit.
Yes, and I can just imagine that he is definitely so proud of you, just as well as I am when I saw this magazine, because I have not seen one like it. Okay, I'm gonna tell my age, all right? I'm 47 years old, and out of all of these years, I have not seen a quartet magazine, a magazine that is dedicated to the genre of quartet, gospel quartet music. And I think it was something that is much needed. So hats off to you, Sunsurray, because I know that it takes a lot of hard work and dedication and commitment to pull something off like this, but you didn't do it by yourself. So I want you to introduce your team and just let them say their say and welcome them to the platform. Go ahead.
Before I introduce them, years ago, Bob, Mario, they probably remember, we did have a quartet magazine. It was Bobby Hurd did it. That was years ago. I was a little younger, but yes, he started a quartet magazine. And after all that stopped, I said, well, one day I'm gonna start one. So that's basically how I got started. I used to read his magazine, and I was looking for one of his issues, but I don't have it now. So, but yeah, Bobby Hurd started the first Gospel Quartet magazine. So I just thought we needed that back out here again, because everyone always saying that quartet is dead. Quartet is not dead. It's how you make it. You have to keep it alive. And if you allow it to be dead, of course it's going to be dead. So we're not going to let that happen. My team, I love my team. My team is Christopher Blue from Baltimore, correct? Or New Jersey, Virginia?
Yeah.
Well,
okay, the DMV.
Virginia. The DMV is the safer way to go. Yeah, the DMV.
The DMV.
The legend himself, Bob Mofrich. I love this man. He keeps up with the quartet. Also we have Mario Porter, the son of the legendary Tyrone Porter. Thank you for being here. And say kudos and hats off to my graphic designer, the one and only Malika Smith. She's the one that put my vision into reality, and I appreciate her and love her. I wish she could be on live now with us.
Yes, and you listen, everybody. Malika is just not a graphic designer. She is an award-winning graphic designer. And you can tell by the work that was put into this magazine. So let's go back. Let's go back to 2023, the winter and spring. I believe, Chris, you have that edition. Can you hold that up for me? Oh, Sunsurray, you got your copy too. Ah, like front cover, right? Front cover, Little David and the Bells of Joy. That's my family, y'all. And definitely, it has been an honor working with them in this quartet industry, I tell you. So, Chris, what have your experience been like working on this magazine?
Well, I've been a fan of quartet, or a supporter of quartet, for quite a few years. And I wanted to find a way that I could, somehow do more than just attend the programs. And already write some articles for a blues magazine, Living Blues, that Bob also writes for.
Yes.
And that's how I know Bob. I see his name all the time.
And I see yours. Yes.
Right. I think it's a good way to promote. I mean, that magazine, the idea is to support up and coming African American blues artists. And I thought there should be something similar for the quartet gospel. I thought that there should be a magazine to help promote and support, get the word out to more people, because so few people know anything about it. It's quite amazing. And so I was looking for a way to write about it, and I approached Living Blues, but they have no interest really in expanding their gospel coverage. They do some, but not anymore. And then I met Sunsurray at probably, I'm pretty sure it was in Baltimore, when there was one of these big programs promoted by Little David, and it brought up some groups from Florida, right? The Sea Lord Seas, the Ziegler family, and maybe one other group, the Cross family, right? The Cross family. So it was the three of them, all from Florida. And that's how we got to know each other. And then I was a big fan of Little David as well. I like his style. They do a lot of songs, a lot of singing, which is, some of the gospel groups don't do as much singing. He manages to cram in about 10 songs in his 15 minutes.
In his set, absolutely.
Where some groups do just 2, So I became a fan and a supporter, and just getting to know snowballed. So I'm just really happy to be able to contribute in any way I can to help support quartet gospel for the future.
Beautiful, beautiful. And Chris, this is actually what I meant to ask you first, so we'll just go here. For those of you that don't know Chris, he is very well known and prominent in the DMV area, Baltimore, Washington, Virginia, that area. For those that don't know you in South Florida, give them a little background of who you are, where you come from, and your writing, because you did mention that you write for I think Living Blues,
Right.
and you have did some other writing as well, if I can remember, when we last spoke. So just give them a little background of who you are and what your capabilities of doing.
Well, that's complicated. I mean, I've been a music lover my entire life, and I think I started out loving blues and soul music. My favorite performer of all time was Little Milton. So
Wow.
he was at the border of soul and blues. He has a great voice, and so I've always liked to go to concerts. I saw Little Milton, I think, 13 times, and I keep archives. I'll show you right here. This is one of my archives. So I keep of all the shows, even all the quartet shows, I have archives for everyone. I keep the flyers. I keep track of the songs from the shows. So I really try to document everything I do. It's a way to sort of try to remember things. And I take a lot of photos as well. I put a lot of them on Facebook. But I've always been a music lover. I always enjoyed going to shows. I tend to prefer African-American singers. It's just the vocals I love. And I think in the end, the quartet gospel is just so moving that it's, you just, once you start going, you get hooked. And then here, where in the DMV, there's literally every weekend, there's got to be 2 or 3 programs. And so the problem I have is limiting myself to, to like I went yesterday, and so, and I'm trying to decide next weekend, there's 2 on the same day. And it's hard to decide. I'm already looking forward to the next big World Series of Gospel. Right? But next weekend, Little David is promoting another one with Dream Angels from Milwaukee. So there's so much activity around. So I just love music. I love going. I love meeting the performers. I like to try to support people as much as I can. And the thing about the quartet music is it really is, when you go to the programs, it's a family,
Absolutely.
I mean, I feel like I'm part of the family, and everybody says hi to me, people hug me, I know everybody knows me. It's a very warm feeling, and that really adds to the experience. Sometimes,
Absolutely.
like yesterday, I met somebody and she was the sister of one of the performers. And I told her, sometimes it feels like I'm the only one who's not actually related. Everybody else is related in some way or another. But they said, no, you're related. You're part of the family.
Wow. Listen, David is in the chat right now. He's saying Chris is one of us now.
There you go.
So we have several people that are chiming in. Veronica Harper, she's saying great job, Miss Wynn. Alicia Porter, Josephine Porter. Oh, they're tagging. Novice Johnson, hello, still clapping for Sunsurray. Claudia Massey, she is a promoter, a manager, actually for Teddy Cross out of Richmond, Virginia. So good evening, Claudia. So we have a number of people that are on here that love quartet. So Mario, I'm gonna come to you last. All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you a chance. Let's go to Bob. Bob, how are you tonight?
Good, Lady Des. Good to see you, and good to see Mario Porter.
Yes, sir.
Good to see you.
Always.
Yes. Doing well here in Chicago.
Awesome. I love Chi-Town. That was one of my favorite places to visit. Matter of fact, Chi-Town owes me nothing. So Bob, tell everybody a little bit about your background in the music industry and what you do and your experience working on this magazine project.
Sure. Yeah, I've had a radio show here in Chicago called Gospel Memories since May of 2001. It's gospel, spiritual, and Jubilee music. at least 25 years old or 30 years old. I started the Journal of Gospel Music in 2004 to provide a platform to review artists, not only of the past, but current artists and emerging artists. And so this is, I think, sometime this month marks our 20th anniversary of the Journal of Gospel Music.
Awesome.
And then, I can't believe it's 20 years. And then I've done some books on gospel music, two big album notes that got Grammy nominations, one on the Journal of the Gospel According to Malachi, and then one on the life and music of Reverend James Cleveland. And like Chris, I contribute to Living Blues. And I think what struck me about Sunsurray's idea is, if you really think about it, Living Blues in the US and Blues and Rhythm in the UK are kind of the only other magazines that even pay attention to quartet music at all.
Mhm.
And yet they can only give certain amount of time to it because they're covering soul and blues and R&B and everything else. So to have something physical, a physical product that focuses on quartet, that's very important. I mean, there aren't many gospel music magazines, period. So to have one, that's put together with class and dignity on quartets, long time coming, but I'm glad it's here. And it was a joy to participate, just to kind of think about the history of quartet and how far it goes back and the connections that it has to American history, and how it's still going. I think it's a testament to the groups that have been around, like the Blind Boys of Alabama, since
Absolutely.
the 1940s. You've got groups like the Christian Heirs who are still around. You've got, so many that just keep the name going. We were talking earlier today at dinner, said, the Beatles were only around for 8 years, 9 years.
Wow.
And yet you've got like the Fairfield Four that have been around for like 80 years. So
Yes,
that
yes.
has longevity.
Absolutely. And I think it's such a love and a passion in quartet, and it's definitely passed down, like a lot of the ones that I interviewed. It's been passed down to generation. So when you think like, gosh, who's coming up next? Who's going to be that next upcoming artist? Or you may think it's dying out. It's not. It's always a new wave of quartet artists that are coming through, that's keeping quartet alive. And just like you said, it's not as many gospel magazines that is dedicated, number one, to gospel music, but definitely quartet. If it mentions anything about a quartet group or something quartet, it's like a little section or a corner. But what intrigued me the most is that this is an entire magazine that is dedicated to all things quartet. And like I said, Sunsurray, I know it took a lot of hard work, dedication, and trying to get writers and people and pictures and all of these things together to create something of this magnitude. So once again, hats off to you. Congratulations. Now, Mario, last but not least, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am wonderful. I'm wonderful. Thank you for joining the platform on tonight. Just give everybody a little bit about yourself, your background, your role that you play in the music industry, and also a little history, even, about your father.
Okay, well, my name is Mario Porter. I'm the oldest son of Tyrone's. I have a younger brother, Chris. My mom is Josephine Porter. Anybody that knew Dad, I know Mr. Bob was very close with him. They knew his love for this industry, the work that he put in, the time, the effort. It was just unmatched. I mean, his integrity in the industry. A lot of people respected him. He spent years singing himself with Christian Airs. So he bled it inside and out. He wasn't just a outsider that loved quartet. He traveled the road for years. He was also the chairman of the GMWA quartet division for, I would say, 35 plus years.
Wow.
up until he held that position, up until he passed last Valentine's Day. And I had a talk with him right before his transition, and we always had. I would let me back up, maybe about 5, 6 years before he passed, he had started to get sick. That's when we found out he had the cancer. So I started traveling with him, doing most of the GMWA conventions, going to programs with him. Once you saw him, you saw me. And throughout that time, I learned a lot. I grew up in quartet because as long as I can remember being a child, they always sung. So I was always at shows. I knew all the artists, all the groups. So I grew up in it. But learning the inside and the drive that he had for the industry to make it better, to make it relevant, to make it known, it just hit different being
Right.
right beside him, learning what he knew, the respect that people had for him, um, the things that he did behind the scenes that a lot of people didn't know about. It was just amazing for me to see that, and for him to bring me aboard and feel enough, feel high enough in me that I was able to carry on his legacy. We wanted to do it before he passed, for it to be something that he could see. He always talked about doing his own showcase, his own convention, but he wasn't able to see it. We did his first one last year in Fayetteville, North Carolina, in July. That was the year he passed. He told me he wanted me to carry on his legacy. So I'm doing everything in my power to keep his vision alive, help quartet groups in any way possible. We're actually coming up on our second annual event. It's actually the 13th, 14th, and 15th, which is this weekend coming in Fayetteville,
Wow.
North Carolina. So, like I said, it was I mean, the support when he was here was phenomenal, but even in his absence, the impression he had on people, as many people come up to me and tell me just the conversations they've had with him that changed their lives, or made them take a different approach that they would have taken if they hadn't talked to him. He just was the type of person in Sunsurray, once you meet him, you never forget him. I mean, the
Right.
smile, just his personality, he was one of a kind. He's missed greatly, and like I said, I'm just honored to be in a position to try to carry on his legacy. I thank Sunsurray, Mr. Bob, and Mr. Chris for all the work that you all done. I haven't gotten my copy yet, but I'm, like they say, a kid in the candy store on Christmas Eve. I'm waiting. I love the
I
front
did
of it.
send
Y'all
it to
did an
you
amazing
digital.
job.
I
Yes,
did.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Sunsurray say you have your digital copy, Mario.
I'm gonna have to look for it
But
when I
it's
get off, cause I sure ain't seen it yet.
Hey, listen, but that digital copy is nothing like the hard copy.
I
Trust
know.
me.
I was just looking at it when you held it up, and it looks amazing.
Thank
Yes,
you.
yes, they did a magnificent job. And Mario, I just really want to commend you, because those of you that know me, you know that I'm big on legacy. I'm big
Mhm.
on just, taking that mantle and running with it. And it's just a pleasure when you see the offspring taking that mantle and keeping the legacy alive of their forefathers, and their parents, because they work so hard. They
Right.
invested so much just to let something die, right? And Mario, you're doing an excellent job. And I just see the excitement and the passion on your face. So don't get discouraged. Make your father proud and continue doing whatever you can to keep his legacy alive, because this is what he loved. This is what he
Right.
loved to do. And I could imagine, only imagine, that it has to be an awesome feeling to be in the position that you're in right now.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, those are some shoes that'll never be able to be filled. But I'm doing my part. You know, I just want to make sure that I'm in a position and help people get in a position to where they greater themselves. You know, a lot of times, one thing he preached was groups and younger artists building their brand. And it's
Yeah.
so very important. I mean, he always referenced to you have all different kinds of sodas. You have Sprites, Coca-Colas, Pepsis. They're all successful, but because they build their brand.
Absolutely.
You know, you can have a variety of the same thing, but you have to invest in yourself, build your brand, and when your time comes, it'll speak for itself.
You know what? You're absolutely correct. And Sunsurray, I'm gonna go back to you and anybody who want to jump in because Mario, you brought up a valid point. A lot of the groups they want to just sing, they want all the
Mhm.
spectacular, but they don't want to invest. What
Right.
do you say about that, Sunsurray? Groups being willing to invest in themselves, promote themselves, market themselves. Because just like Mario said, there are so many different brands that are out there. They're serving almost the same thing. But if nobody don't know that you're there, how can they experience what you have?
That is true. And there's so many ways you can market yourself and build your brand. Um, a lot of artists, I mean, you can do it's a lot of things that go on social media, but when you're out there in the public, have your brand ready. I mean, you have your one sheet, you have t-shirts, hats, you have the bracelets, you even do your pictures. Back then, they used to have the I ain't gonna say hand meals because that was Daddy used to call them, but they used to have the pictures where it's the regular picture, and at the bottom you have the white border and with the information, the group name, booking, all that. And back then we just they signed the autographs and stuff. It's different ways, like you said, you could brand yourself.
That's it.
Absolutely.
That's it right there.
Now, listen, I know hands on because I work for Little David and the Bells of Joy. One thing about Tracy, he is big on branding. He is big on always having his product available. He's always thinking of coming up with the next thing that he can do to present Little David and the Bells of Joy in a different manner, and that's very important. It's so important to every quartet group, any artists that are out there. You have to invest. You have to invest in order to get something back. So you got to put a deposit in order to get a return back. But if you never put nothing in, don't expect nothing back
Yeah,
because
especially in
you must
sorry.
invest in yourself. You must believe in yourself. And I'm so glad that I am a part of a team of people that definitely believe in investing and putting out the best.
and,
Now,
and
Chris, let's go to you. We're going to go into this magazine. We
But
want everybody to get this magazine. We're not going to give you all the tea, okay, on this magazine because we definitely want you all to purchase the new edition of the magazine. I'm not sure, Sunsurray, are they able to get the one from last year as well?
Yes, I still have some copies of last year, and I have a lot of copies of this year.
Awesome, awesome. So, Chris, tell
yes,
us a little bit about why did you choose to write about the World Series? You also, I believe you wrote about Zion, if I'm not mistaken.
and it was another big anniversary. Yeah,
And okay, and you were very detailed. That's
yeah.
one thing about you, Chris. I see that you are very
Okay.
detailed and you took notes. You definitely took notes. So tell us a little bit about your experience at the World Series to make it. This is what I'm going to write about in the Quartet magazine.
Well, okay. So I should say that my actual full-time job is I'm a scientist. So And so when I write normally for the blues magazine, I write these profiles, which are just the facts of people's lives. I just tell where they were born, what they did. So this was a real stretch for me to try to write a review. And I looked at examples in the magazine, like I looked at some of Bob's reviews for various CDs, because he writes a lot of excellent reviews, and I wanted to sort of incorporate some more interesting language than I would normally use. And so, but the World Series, I went a couple times. This is not the first time that they've held this event, and it's an amazing event. I mean, for me, Baltimore is a long trip. It's about an hour drive, and it's to a whole new place. I've never been there. It's a whole new church. It's a little bit intimidating, and it was really crowded. I remember the first time I went there, I couldn't find a seat, and then I found a seat up front, and I sat down, and then this woman came up and said, "That's my seat," and I thought she was going to beat me up. But then,
are you serious?
in front with them, and then the woman who I thought was going to beat me up, we became best friends. And later I went to programs with her. I gave her a ride to Baltimore one time. So it's funny how these things work. But it's a really, the thing about the World Series, it was the most popular event, one of the most popular programs I've ever been to. I mean, sold out, very crowded. The artists put out the best performances they could. And what I like too is they were selling CDs and things. Nothing I hate more than going to a show and I can't buy anything. Right? I like it when the artist at least sells me a photo. I'll pay for a photo if they'll sign it.
Wait, Chris, say that again. Say that again.
There's nothing I hate more when I can't buy anything. And so a lot of the performers know this. I bug everybody after the show. What do you have? Do you have any CDs? Do you have any pictures? There's one performer in particular I've been hounding for months now, and every time he sees me, he says, I know, I'm supposed to give I'm going to go around him. So, but I like to buy the merchandise. And so that's the other thing about the World Series. Like you said, Tracy, they do an excellent job of managing and promoting these events, and they set aside space for the vendors, for the artists to sell their CDs and things. It's a really well-run program. I mean, Sunsurray, you've been there for your groups from Florida. I think the groups have a good experience there, and the acts come from as far away as Florida. That's a long trip, So it was pretty exciting for me, and it was sort of all the biggest names it seemed in gospel. So it's the perfect thing to review, and it's 2 days in a row. So I mean, you can't beat that. It wears you out.
Absolutely.
I mean, the groups. One group came from Milwaukee. That's pretty far away, and there was a group from Ohio. And it's interesting. I kind of keep track, like I said, and so I can see that the group that came from Milwaukee. It wasn't too long later that little David. You can see how it's everybody sort of trades, and that's fun too. I keep track of that as well. So it was a great event. And then for Zion, they're a local DC group that has a long history, and they've been around. This was their 40th anniversary. Years ago, pre-pandemic, they were one of the groups that I saw at a smaller program, and when the Patriarch was still alive, and they were always one of the top groups in the DC area. And I really like their current lead singer, Wanda. She's just a ball of energy, and when she gets going, the whole house starts to shake. So it
just rocks, right?
It does. And so their programs are always wonderful. And so, and they had a really good lineup for their 40th anniversary too. So these were two things that happened. I mean, I could write a review for just about every show I go to because I keep notes and song titles, but these were the three biggest shows to when Sunsurray was looking for something, and I just did my best. It's the first time I ever really wrote a review, and I get input from my wife. She's good at helping me with these things. Tells me when it's bad and how to make it better. And so, and just wait and see what happens. So, it was fun to try to again try to support the programs and the groups. So, and I'm already looking forward to this year's World Series of Gospel. So far, they only have the Sunday flyer. I keep leaning on them for the Saturday flyer. He said it was going to be out this week.
Yes, the Saturday flyer will be out really, really soon. I'm not sure of this week, but I know it's definitely going to be out real soon. And just like you said, Chris, it's an awesome, awesome experience.
Oh, yeah.
And you wrote this. I read over it. I was like, wow, how did he remember everything? But you were taking notes. You document everything, and you were right on point. So I thank you so much for highlighting the World Series of Gospel in Baltimore, Maryland, as well as Zion's anniversary. So Bob, let's go to you. Let's go to you, Bob, because you also have a write-up here in the Quartet magazine. Let's all sing together. I think let us sing together.
Yeah. It was,
so tell us about that.
I wanted to really go back to the roots of quartet singing. And, particularly, and I know Brother Tyrone Porter would appreciate this, the kind of vocal culture that really developed these harmonies that we appreciate in quartet music, that, it started out really pre-Civil War, just as young people just kind of harmonizing to pass the time, and then became a professional activity. A lot of people don't know there were black vaudeville groups as well as white vaudeville groups, and black vaudeville houses and quartets came out of that. And one of the earliest groups out of Chicago even had their music would be put on these little machines where for like a nickel you could like listen and see them perform, like a kaleidoscope kind of thing. And all of those have long been gone, but they were one of the first to make recordings, and to listen to the music at that time. I mean, it was really influenced by teachers from the historically black colleges, universities like Fisk and Tuskegee, who taught at local schools and taught what they said time, harmony, and articulation. And this was the beat, it was the meter, it was the harmony. It should be as tight as like a harmonica, and the articulation, that the words need to be out there, because as Thomas Dorsey said, if we can't understand what you're singing, what's the point? It's about the gospel, it's about the good news. And if we can't hear the good news, it's a lost opportunity. And so this is where these groups that, kind of the foundation came through. So you have like the Spirit of Memphis and the Dixie Hummingbirds, and you have the Fairfield Four, and they set the standard. And then they start having these lead singers like Silas Steele from the Spirit of Memphis, who could sing you under the table, out the door, out in the street, and out of the county. Or Archie Brown Lee, who you did not want to be behind on a program, because the man could not see, and he could scream and shout and walk the aisles and walk on the seats. And so you did not want to be behind Archie Brownlee and the Five Blind Boys of Mississippi. But it was this vocal culture. And just to try to give a sense of the history, so individuals could see where that goes back, and the quality of the work that went into it, so that it was not accidental, that the groups that kind of paved the way for today had teachers, they had vocal coaches, they had vocal trainers, and they really learned their craft and honed it down so specifically, so that by the time that they got at a program, they could wreck the house. There was not going to be any mistakes. A friend of mine from Philadelphia used to say, he'd say, in Chicago, we had some of these bad quartets. He said, I could be in Philadelphia, I'd come to Chicago, we'd be in our uniforms and our bow ties. And he said, these would be three guys that come out of Gary, still on their mill clothes from working, and they'd sing us out of the house. There was no fooling with some of those Chicago quartets. But they all learned from these trainers from like Jefferson County, Alabama, and, the Tidewater of Virginia. So I love the history of it. And that's why I really enjoyed writing that article for Sunsurray's magazine.
Yeah, the article was awesome, because as I was reading it, I was like, wow, I didn't know this. So, Sunsurray, once again, keep it coming because we need to keep Quartet alive. I cannot stress that enough. And knowing the history, you're not just posting pictures and articles, you're actually bringing a team of people that have history on the quartet and are able to articulate it and write it and communicate it to the industry. Like, hey, this is not going away. We're going to be here until till Jesus comes. You know, so I commend you on the team because it takes a lot of thinking. It really does to pick the right people and put them in the right place to bring it all together. And I know not only just thinking, but prayer as well. So, Sunsurray, those who are listening tonight about the magazine and they may be wondering, how can I get involved? How can my group be in the magazine? How can we get a writer? If I want to be a writer in this magazine, how can I be a part? How can I get connected?
Well, I can be reached at 786-985-5538. I can also be reached at the Gospel Quartet Heritage Magazine through Facebook. You can also contact me through the inbox, also my personal inbox through Sunsurray Wynn, SUNSURRAYWYNN. You can inbox me there and we can talk on how the artist can get in the magazine, how you can be a contributor writer. And hopefully, I wish I could be there this year, but hopefully, I'm praying next year I will have to make it my business to be to Tyrone's legacy showcase. And hopefully, you'll allow the Quartet magazine to write a review on it next year. And hopefully, I can
I
bring
would,
Chris and Bob with me.
I would love it. We're gonna make it happen.
Yes.
All right.
And Mario, just tell everybody again about the Tyrone Porter's showcase that's happening this weekend.
Yes, ma'am. Fayetteville, North Carolina, July 13th through the 15th. First 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, are new artist showcases. We will have some special guests both Saturday and Sunday. Monday will be our quartet night where we will have a lot of artists. I really should fire, but I don't want to start calling names and I leave people out. So, but it's a 3 day event. Like I said, in Fayetteville, North Carolina, Abundant Life Church. Um, Saturday we will start. We have a little brunch at 10. The showcases will start at 2. Sunday, the showcases will start after church service around 3 until, and then Monday, doors open at 5. Show starts at 6. So you don't want to miss. If you're close in that area, we would love your support. Last year was amazing, very spirit filled. It wasn't your normal showcase where everybody's held strictly to that time limit. Once the spirit hit that area, it was, I mean, it just, everything else went out there. All the
Wow.
rules, the time, it just, and I think, sometimes you have to stay the protocol, but you can't, like Bob said earlier, it's a ministry, it's a gospel. So you can't cut it off. It's not a light switch. Sometimes you have to allow, when you know what's going on, you have to allow that to manifest throughout that building. And so many people's lives were changed that weekend. It was just great. And we're looking for the same and even better this coming weekend.
All right, Mario, we have Claudia Massey in the chat. She's asking that you give those dates again.
Okay, that is July 13th through the 15th. This Saturday, Sunday, and Monday in Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Awesome, awesome. Also in the chat, we have awesome book on quartet gospel singing and Tyrone Porter history. That's the Anointed Gospel Messengers, Sunsurray. I'm not sure if you all are seeing these comments that's coming through, but Anita Hill, she's another promoter out of Georgia. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we just want to thank everybody who is tuning in that are in the chats. Listen, y'all, I'm trying to talk and read these chats. Claudia Massey, know I need her. But we want to thank you all so much. There are a lot of quartet programs and conferences and conventions that are going on. We want you all to be a part. I just left this weekend. I was in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I was also in King Street at 59th, Doc McKenzie's 59th singing anniversary, which was awesome. And the place was packed of people. So listen, I looked in there. I said, quartet ain't dying out. What are they talking about? People are still coming out. They're supporting. And it takes a collective of people like you all, this team of people that are keeping quartet alive. Listen to everyone from New Orleans. Jeffrey Davis, thank you so much. Thank you. Claudia Massey is saying, Desiree Hall, as always, you're doing an amazing job. Thank you, y'all. Listen, y'all want y'all to stay connected. Please, if I don't think I could take any more friend requests, but follow me, follow Chris. I want to go around and everybody, please give your social media handles. So those who are listening, those that will watch the replay, they will be able to connect with you all and stay connected. So Mario, you can go first.
Okay, my Facebook is Mario Porter, Mareo. A lot of people put an I in there, but my mom chose the E, so I'm a little different. But we also have the Tyrone Porter Legacy Showcase page. You can join, share, just follow a lot of. It's not just that our showcase information. It's all quartet information. Any shows across the country, groups, any info, current events. It's just, something that keeps everybody up to date. So like I said, my Facebook is Mario Porter. We can also contact us on Tyrone Porter's Legacy Showcase page on Facebook as well.
Awesome. Thank you. Chris?
Okay, I just sent a friend request to Mario, so hopefully he'll accept.
I sure will.
All right. Yeah, so on my Facebook, I gave my full name, which is a little long. So it's Christopher Aaron Klug. So it's quite long, but I'm friends with a lot of people, so it's easy enough to find me. Easy enough to find me just that way with photos and things. So that's all I have really. It's just the Facebook, but I do post a lot of photos from the programs I go to, and I try to make them shareable and public. So and people seem to like them. So
yeah, you do an awesome job, Chris.
Yeah, some of my photos actually showed up in the magazine too. So
awesome. Awesome. And Bob?
Best way to find me would be journalofgospelmusic.com. You can access the radio show from there and my social media handles from there. And for art reviews and interviews of gospel artists from the past, present, and the emerging artists of tomorrow, journalofgospelmusic.com.
Awesome. Awesome. So listen, everybody, Sunsurray, I'm coming to you next. Don't worry, I didn't forget you. So listen up, everybody. We will get everybody's social media handles and we will post them in the comments, actually in the bio of this video. So as you go through with the replay, as it's shared, you all will have their contact information so you can stay connected. This is a group of people that are keeping quartet alive. And if you love quartet, if you love gospel music, please connect with them. They're a great team of people that are willing to assist and to push you forward. Even if your group is interested, connect with them. Tyrone Porter Showcase will be an excellent platform. World Series of Gospel is an excellent platform to promote you as an artist. So you all get connected. Okay, Sunsurray, let them know again how they can connect with you, how they can be a part of this magazine, how they can purchase the magazine, because we want you all to get this magazine in your hands. In your hands, share the magazine. It's some awesome information. Groups that you may not even know or have heard of. Listen, I recently just connected to a group out of Nebraska. I'm like, I didn't know Black people was in Nebraska, first of all. Dude, talking about singing quartet gospel. I'm like, what? Oh my God. I was blown away by that. So it's when you think you heard it all or know it all, trust me, there are new people that you can always connect with. So just stay connected. Go ahead, Sunsurray, let them know how they can get this magazine in their hands.
Also, just to let everybody know, Lady Des is also in here for the industry spotlight influencers.
Thank you.
No problem, sis. I have also Ray Braswell. So there's going to be spotlights on different producers in the quartet, different radio announcers, hostess, musicians. I'm going to be putting some of everything out there. So the next issue that I'm working on now will be the summer fall, and that's going to have some more different stuff in there as well. I can be reached if you would like to have a copy of the Tyrone Porter or Little David, either one. I can be reached at 786-985-5538. Also, you can reach me on Facebook at Sunsurray Wynn. Also Facebook, the Gospel Quartet Heritage Magazine. Also on Facebook, the Wynn Entertainment Group. If you can't reach me, you can also reach my business partner for the Voices of Quartet, Dara J. Jones. So I can be reached. If you still can't reach us, you can also contact Lady Des. She can reach me. So I'm very reachable, everyone. My phone rings 24 hours a day. I don't have no time frame. You can call me anytime of the day or night.
Listen, y'all, I text Sunsurray, no lie, about 2:00 this morning. She responded back. I'm like, what the heck are you still up? But yeah, so she is reachable. She is approachable. So if you all are interested in getting your group marketed and promoted in this magazine, please reach out to her. It is a very well created magazine. Shout out to award-winning graphic designer Malika Smith, who did her thing with this magazine. We commend her on it. It is awesome. Awesome. So we encourage you all to get this magazine. How much is the magazine, Sunsurray?
A small donation of $10. You have the booking and management. You have the booking and management part is located in here as well. So if there's groups that would like to have their booking information in, because people are always asking, how can I get in contact with this group and this group? You can always put your booking information in here as well. We also have the CDs of the artists. If you want to display your CDs, your new releases, we have that as well. What I'm working on now, I'm just going to let everybody know, any conference workshops that's going to be taking place concerning quartet, or just information for artists to get educated on, it will be in the next issue. So it will be in this issue I'm doing. So if you want to put your information in there as well, just give me a call. That way everyone can still be connected on all the workshops and conferences, concerts, and everything that's going to be taking place. It'll all be listed in here.
Awesome. Awesome. And listen, everybody, this is not predicated to one group of people, one demographic of people. This is for everybody. This is a team of people that want to see everyone win. Okay. From education to documentation to graphics, whatever you need to know. This magazine has it all things quartet. And just like you said, Sunsurray, there's always people contacting us about numbers for groups and different things, different questions that you may have. You all get connected to Wynn Entertainments. They can definitely help you with that. We have Michael McDonald, the brother manager of the McDonald sisters. I'm losing my
Yes,
voice, y'all.
and one of
So
our
hey,
very important staff members.
wait, Mario, say that again.
I say, and he's one of our very important staff members of Tyrone Porter Legacy Showcase.
All right now. All right. So shout out to Michael McDonald. Thank you so much for joining on tonight. We have LaVon Murphy. She said, that's my manager. She's reachable. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Listen, everybody, we want to give you all some last words. So this floor is open to anyone who want to go first. What are your lasting words that you want the audience to hear? Anyone could go first. Let's go with Bob.
Yeah, I want to just say that I really miss Tyrone Porter. He is a great guy. He was a true gentleman. He was somebody who I could never say no to him. All he did have to do was ask, and he just asked in a way it's like you can't say no. You can't say no. But he was a great man. He did so much. He worked so hard for quartet music, and I'm glad, Mario, that you're taking on the legacy and the mantelpiece of that, because he, like you said, he lived and bled quartet music, and the genre. Without him in the picture, who knows where we'd be today. So God bless him for doing what he's done, and God bless you for moving to the next chapter.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Mario.
You know, in the situation,
Wait, Mario,
one of his favorites,
you're going in and out.
much is given. Can you hear me now?
Wait, it's breaking up. Can you start over? I don't know if you can remember everything you said, but we missed a lot of it.
Well, I was just saying, I'm just blessed to be in this position. One of Dad's favorite sayings was, "To whom much is given, much is required." So it's a working and a work in progress. Um, but as long as everybody pulls together, it'll be so much easier for
Absolutely.
the group as a unit. We have, like Mr. Chris was saying earlier. I mean, just in the DMV area, you can go to any city and you have so many quartet groups. I mean, from young to old to, I mean, it's no reason why this genre shouldn't be at the top, because we have the numbers, but we have to work together, and once we get to that point, um, we've been successful, in areas, being, if it's West Coast, if it's East Coast, the South, up North, but if everybody would just come together, it would be the strongest genre in music,
Absolutely.
because it's the roots to every music. I mean, if it's
Absolutely.
blues, pop, it starts with the church. So, like Mr. Bob said, Dad, he did so much, and I don't want that to die. I don't want his visions to die. There were other things that he wanted to do. There were other ways and avenues that he wanted to create for artists, to where they could propel themselves, not just musically, but there's a business side to it. There's a spiritual side to it. There is a lot that goes into it. It's not just about getting up on stage and singing,
Right.
but that's why we try to do these showcases, to educate, inform, so they're in a better position to be successful. So, like I said, I'm just blessed to be in a position to try to help as much as I can.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. And Chris?
Well, I just want to thank Sunsurray again for letting me be involved in this, because I think this is just the beginning, and I think I'm really
Absolutely.
excited about the potential for this magazine to help Quartet Gospel grow bigger, and to just to bring everybody together, because as Mario just said, there's a lot of groups, people more, and it'll grow bigger and bigger. And I'm really thankful for Sunsurray to allow me to be involved right at the beginning, of something that I think is going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to the future.
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I would
So
like to thank everyone that participated in this issue. Bob, Chris, Mario. I loved your dad. That was my big
Yes.
brother. He always called me his little sis. We talked on the phone, and yes, there's a lot of things that he wanted to do, and he even mentioned it in the interview, but I didn't post it in the book because that's nobody's business.
Right.
I let you bring that out. But yeah, he was a loving man, and I looked up to him, and we did other things, like you said, behind the scenes. We did conference calls. We did some of everything nightly, almost all night. So it's just a blessing, and I want to thank you for keeping the legacy going. I know he's proud of you, most definitely. And I know your mom is very happy and proud of you as well. And let her know I love her. Also, I just want all the quartetters to know, stop being cheap. I don't mean to say it like that. I just have to be out front and real. Stop being cheap. Brand yourself. You got to spend money to make money. So,
absolutely.
I mean, just always looking out for handouts. Market yourself. Don't always look for someone else to market you. You have to market yourself. If you're hungry for it, you got to eat, go get it. And that's how we are in Quartet. So, like I said before, Quartet is always here to stay. We're not dying. We're not dead. Like Lady Dead say, we're here to death do you part. So I just want everybody to go out there and support each other. Love on one another. Stop criticizing, talking about each other. Push each other. Encourage one another. And I think that's one of the biggest things in Quartet. And that what makes us Quartet look bad. And I'm saying us as a whole. And I might get somebody mad, but oh well. But you have to love on each other and stop talking about each other behind your back, laughing each other's face. I mean, if you in this quartet, you in it. So I just want to encourage all the artists, go out there and show your love to each other, support one another, and get in this magazine so people can know who you are. For those that don't know who you are, this is another way to gain exposure. And always remember to keep God first.
Absolutely. 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 Thank you so much. Listen, y'all are definitely a power team that is keeping quartet music alive through this publication and other areas that you are working in so diligently. We want to say thank you to each and every one of you that are listening. Now, I have Ella Brown that is in the comments. She wants you to give that number again, the phone number.
786-985-5538.
Thank you. Thank you. And also, like I said earlier, we will have this information in the bio also put into the comments. So you all already have it. I believe your mom, Mario, that's Miss Josephine. Alicia Porter. I'm sorry. Alicia Porter. She put the information in the comments in reference to the Tyrone Porter Legacy Showcase. It's going to be held at Abundant Life Christian Center, 220 Pelt Drive, Fayetteville, North Carolina. And that's July 13th through the 15th. So that information is already there, and we're going to add the rest of you information. Once we're done with the live, I would just ask that you all just please stay on so I can get this information from you all as well. We just want to thank each and everyone for tuning in tonight of Real Love Ministries Live. And I'm so excited to have Sunsurray Wynn and her power team on here that helped and assisted in putting this magazine together. Shout out to Malika Smith. If I forgot to name anybody, please charge it to my head and not my heart. But we appreciate everyone that put their hands to the plow to make this happen, because it does take a collective of people and it takes a lot of hard work and dedication. And also, Sunsurray, thank you for featuring me as well. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. It's always an honor when people think of you because they don't have to do that. So I definitely appreciate it. I want to give a shout out to a few of the powerhouses in the organization, the leaders, Dr. George, I'm going to say Dr. Pastor George Stewart. And also, listen, she like my auntie, y'all. She called me her daughter, Barbara McLaughlin. We thank you. We thank you all so much because they're definitely pioneers as well in the industry. So thank you all so much for tuning in, and we'll talk to you all soon. Good night.
Good night.